Hey, how's it going, everybody? Ultimately, yeah, Lucky, back again, once again, for my draft analysis of the PCL Season 4. Now, those of you who don't know, PCL is another draft league I have been taking part in. I actually made a video for my draft analysis of Season 2, but I just never uploaded anything. And in this league, I participated in Season 2, Season 3, and off-season, and now I'm here for Season 4. So PCL, we get 11 mons in total for our draft. We get one mega, and then we have 5 tiers where we take 1 tier 1, 1 tier 2, 2 tier 3s, 1 tier 4, 1 tier 5, and then we get 400 points between 4 Pokemon. And however many points our mega will add to our final draft. So how this draft now is going to work is I'm going to name off my mons in the order that I have drafted them. So it's not going to be something where I start at my mega and end at the final free pick. Nope, I'm going to go right into the full-on order I drafted them and how I think they're going to just hold its position in this team. And when it comes to Z-Mons, we have 3 of them in total. 1 of them can use status and attacking moves. 2 of them can only use attacking moves. And things like Omni boosting and evasion and boosting status moves are banned. So I wouldn't even want anyone with that if that would happen, but anyway. So starting things off with the first round. Let's see here. How that go now? Okay, so starting things off with the first round. I went and picked Latias to be my first round pick, as really it was the most likely first round thing, because most things that go first rounds are tier 1 4 megas, and I didn't actually get my mega until very late into the draft. And like Latias Pokemon I've always wanted to try, and in this league Soul Dew isn't banned, so I can give it to it. So our Dragon Psychic type move will get a buff every time. And Latias is also a Z attacking one, so you can do things like Psychium Z and Dragon Z with like its attacking moves. Also like the coverage Latias has with some physical and with some physical to help out. And we get set up with Calm Mind. We also got Hazard Control with Defog. Gets healing with whatever it's worth, and it also is some sort of a Wish Passer. And also we get some nice statuses like Trick, Toxic, and Thunder Wave. Even Tailwind, so we can boost up our speed. I'm just noticing now I get Sucker Punch. Not that really matters much. Of course, boost for longevity, and it's really just the bulkier version between it and Latias and Latios. And I think I find myself being able to work with Latias a bit better. And I'm pretty sure the difference between them is their special attack and special defense are kind of swapped in some ways, where Latias is more offensive and Latias is more defensive, and I think I like the high special defense that Latias has, along with a solid speed that breaks the 100 speed tier. Which means we can be very fast, we can speed speed for some things, and hopefully this should just be a dragon type that I would not want to get rid of. Also, you can also just use any other items that Latias is good with. It's really my first time trying Latias, so we could probably do like Assault Vest, Choice Bag, so we can lefty set. But a bunch of these mods I have, they're my first time using it, so it's going to take some time getting used to some of them, but I think Latias is a mod that I can feel comfortable with using. So my next pick is actually a tier 3 mod. And it is Primarina, which doesn't have Liquid Voice just yet, though. We're just a Torrent Primarina right now. It can still be good, and its special attack and special defense are still really nice and high. Nothing else is very too spectacular, but really a choice spec set is almost what Primarina would need every time. Because we can just throw in moves like Scald, Moon Blast, Energy Ball, The occasional hidden power, keeping up Shadow Ball right there. Surf if we don't want to do Skullburns, and Hydro Pump for this amazing power, and Hyper Voice next for this other normal and nice stab. Just noticing now, but it also gets Aqua Jet, so we got some priority in the mix, and even Parasong, so we can do some nice little games if someone wants to like set up with a defensive block. There might be one team where I can even work with Parasong. And most of those other got some nice moves like Amnesia to increase our special defense even more. Anything else down here with it? Not really. It's not. There's not a lot of complexity to Primarina, as really most of the time it just needs a choice deck set to break through some special defensive walls. But I think its role as a wall breaker and being part of my Fairy Steel Dragon Core, I can work very nice with Latias, as we resist. I mean, of course, being Fairy type, we resist the Dark type weakness that Latias has, and because we're water, we resist its ice weakness. And of course, we're also immune to Dragon, so Primarina kind of just covers most of the weaknesses Latias can have and can almost potentially deal with them properly. And I don't think the same can go exactly with Latias, but Latias can definitely resist some of the things Primarina is weak to, like Grass and Electric, and not so much of the very weaknesses it has, but that's also just where my Steel type comes into the mix, and it's also the next Pokemon I got, which is also another tier 3. And I picked up Cobalion in round 3 to finish off my Fairy Steel Dragon Core. One thing that really sold it for me was Justified visibility, so that also just helps with Latias' dark weakness. And the way how the draft works out in the end, I have a handful of mons that are weak to that share a weakness to dark. So having Justified can definitely scare out some people from bringing too much dark offensive, especially since we resist dark. And Gabalion's also another Z attack mon user, so you can throw things like Titanium and Helium Zeon for offensive moves, so we can't do like Electrium Z, Thunder Wave, or whatever it does. But Gabalion's also just one of my solid rock setters, and you got Volt Switch for nice momentum. Plus it's also just, it's nice and solid setup with Sword Stance and Rock Polish. It helps that it also just like it's very high defense stat at phase 129, and we break the 100 speed tier, so we're not overly fast, but we're not overly slow where we'll be able to be outsped by most of the mons in the format. And again, it just really helps with weaknesses the mons have. It covers almost all of Primarina's weaknesses on the Fairy side, as we're immune to poison. Of course, we got poison and steel. Yeah, so we resist poison and steel. Of course, we can easily take on both the types. Steel, we take on steel a bit better than poison. And of course, the way its stats are worked out, we can even run a special Valion with Flash Cannon, Focusmith, compared to like Iron Head in close combat. Yeah, it's also my first time trying out Valion, but I think it has a nice array of moves where I can run a nice variety of sets. He might be my main stealth rock set most of the time, but there's nothing wrong with that. He is a solid one to do it with, because we can take a lot of defensive attacks, and he just really finishes off my Fairy Steel Dragon Core very beautifully, and I think the Justify is going to help a lot with my team, as, spoiler alert, I have 2 ghost types. So, I had to get 2 ghost types because of the sniper, but really all I can say about Cobalion. So, the next pick was another tier 3 pick, but it was also a free pick. So, originally I wanted to get Serena, which was a tier 4 mon, got Rapid Spin, Aromatherapy, and Queenly Majesty to avoid priority. I really wanted to try that out, but it was sniped. It was taken in round 3, I believe. So there was a grass type gone and a rapid spinner gone, which really dealt me back, but I was actually able to easily deal with it with the way my draft plan was worked out. So I was able to go up 1 tier to get another mon. And so I needed to replace a grass type and a rapid spinner with Velociraptor. And there was one mon in tier 3 that was able to do that just very nice. And he's returning to us from the Elite. It's Arthur Foss, our Delmise. Yeah, I've liked using Delmise in the Elite. I mean, sure, for the most part, it sets kind of the same thing most of the time. You just throw on the assault vest, give it its usual, like, 3 stab moves of, like, an array of, like, it's, at least some of it's 3 stab moves. 2 of the 3 stab moves, a power shot, the anchor shot. Occasionally we'll have rapid spin in there. Then you just have, like, you have the solid coverage moves, quick break, earthquake. Quick break not that much, but switcheroo for whatever it's worth. We got rock coverage so we can hit flying types. And I like Delmise in special, like its range of special attacks. We got Giga Drain for longevity, Flash Cannon for the Steel Worker, Shadow Ball for the Ghost side. We got coverage moves like Surf and Sludge Wave, which I don't know if I'd ever be in a situation where running a special Delmise would be a thing, but I've always wanted to do a special Delmise, but I just don't feel like it can properly be executed compared to using a special mon with other Pokemon. But Delmise is just going to be a reliable rapid spinner with being able to take on a lot of special mons, hardwalling a bunch of the water types in the game. The only threat it has against the water type is Scald. Even then, Power Whip is still going to do a lot of damage. It can knock out a bunch of water types if they aren't properly prepared for Delmise. And really all Delmise has, just like Arena, is kind of a basic mon with some complexity to it, but the complexity is not that common in Draft League format. Yeah, I originally wanted Serena, but Delmise was the next best option, and I was able to work around the fact that Serena was sniped, and Delmise can definitely still put into work. It can work with Gobalion and Justified, like I said. So, my 5th round pick was actually a tier 4 mon. Yeah, like, we're 5 rounds in, we haven't even gotten a Mega or tier 2 mon, believe it or not. And of course, it's a cleric that I wanted to try out. It's really the best one I could think to fit in the team. Licky Licky. Licky Licky. It surprisingly has some cleric capabilities. It gets Wish, it gets Heal Bell. It doesn't get Baton Pass, but that's basically Licky is basically a non-Mega Audino. But it also just gets nice coverage moves that a normal type would get, and just like Mega Audino, but we don't have that third. We don't have that third going and stuff. But we got knockoff, we got some elemental punches, and since Licky Licky's special attacks out kind of the same, we can run either or. And for what's worth, we get Sword Stance. Not that I would probably do an offensive Licky Licky compared to a cleric one, but we got coverage moves where we can probably throw an Ice Beam to take on that 4x Big Dragon, or Power Whip to take on like Gastrodon and Quagsire, which haven't been drafted yet. So most part, Licky Licky is going to be here for longevity on the team and have that coverage move to take other on. But that's really all it needs to do, because like it's a normal type with a very simplistic purpose, but if it's not properly prepared for, it's not going to be able to be taken down easily. We have Oblivious, so we cannot get taunted, which can help because that's a weakness for some wish patches. It could be very good for electromagnetic teamwork, and I think I can bring it to a nice number of weeks where it won't be dead weight for that, just that one purpose of wish passing. Okay, yeah, so 5 rounds in, and we have Latias, Primarina, Cobalion, Lickilicky, and Dhelmise. So, in round 6, I was going to finish off my Fire, Water, Grass core with my Water type being Primarina, Grass type being Dhelmise, and my Fire type is Alola Marowak. So, yeah, Alola Marowak, just another Pokemon I've always wanted to try, and I was trying to find a replacement for it without me having to get Dhelmise, but that's how my draft plan was worked. There wasn't really anything in Tier 3 that would not have had the same amount of usefulness as Dhelmise or as Alola Marowak would have, because all that's left in Tier 3 it would have just had the same type. Like we've had there was like a couple of months like Chandelure and Emboar, but Chandelure is basically Alola Marowak on the special offensive attack side, and Emboar is Fire fighting type, and we had Cobalion for the fighting. But Alola Marowak is a Pokemon I've always wanted to try. Thick Club, it always fascinated me. And we got Lightning Rod and Rockhead, two very good abilities. Lightning Rod offering us the electric immunity, which can make it work with Primarina's electric weakness if we don't bring Dhelmise for some reason. And Rockhead for its powerful Flare Blitz, Stab Flare Blitz. And of course, he also has other powerful moves like Shadow Bone. It also gets Stealth Rock, and we got some of the coverage Alola Marowak gets, like Earthquake, and some surprising special coverage, not that I would ever use it. And then we also get Will-O-Wisp thrown in the mix so we can surprise cripple some physical mon. But really, Alola Marowak is just going to most likely serve an offensive threat purpose. As Thick Club, it boosts its attack by double, so we're basically a base 160 attack Pokemon. So, if my opponent doesn't really have a hard check to Alola Marowak, it can definitely come in and wreck some teams. And just so you guys know, baton passing any sort of stats is banned. I think I have a mon that can do that, but like even if I did, I couldn't really pass any speed to Alola Marowak. So unless I can make some sort of trick room set work, it's not going to outspeed much, but that's kind of the cost I had to pick for that ultimate like physical threat. Like it's going to make my opponent probably want to throw a lot of defense in their Pokemon so we can live from him. Where not a lot of Pokemon can really probably take on a Fire Ghost stab combo. And really all there is to say about Alola Marowak is not really what it does very well in the end. So going into round 7, we used another free pick for a Tier 4 mon. And I went and picked up Skuntank. So one reason I picked up Skuntank was for defog, so I can get some more acid control. I also just like the poison dark typing, so we're only weak to ground. And we can take on some fairies, but we don't resist it. And we got some nice stab moves with Crunch, Poison Jab, and the good coverage with Play Rough. For what it's worth, because some fine types they can throw in Earthquake on their sets. And Shadow Claw Sucker Punch combination. Sucker Punch can definitely be brought a lot. I like Sucker Punch as a move, because we get priority and we can attack beforehand. Then Taunts, like the occasional Dark types get, kind of meh stats all around, but we can creep to outspeed some bulky mons like Clefable and Chansey, like throw a taunt onto them to the point where they probably can't properly do anything. And even Memento for probably potential cripple on that last mon an opponent could have that I might not be able to take down. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with how Skunk Tank works, you get Aftermath is probably the ability I'm going to run most of the time. And there's no need for a keen eye and Stench is kind of a hit or miss ability. Basically, King Rock. It's going to take a little while to figure out how Skunk Tank will work, but after maybe a couple weeks I can figure out my niche with it. And really nothing more to be said about Skunk Tank. So my 8th round pick was tier 5 mon. Because at this point was tier 5 mon decided to go, so I thought I should get mine before it could potentially be taken away. So I got Garbodor. So, and just like Skunk Tank, its main ability that would run if I bring it would most likely be Aftermath, but the Aftermath is definitely something that can scare my opponents, as they don't have enough HP they can knock themselves out. The one thing I liked about Garbodor was its double hazard combination with Spike's Toxic Legs, which can make it work very well with Cobalion. We can get up like potentially all 3 hazards and really cripple my opponents if they don't have proper hazard control. And Garbodor's got an okay attack stat for Gunk Shot and the occasional coverage move we can throw in there. And if I'm not mistaken, it also gets Stockpile. Yep. So we can boost both our defenses by up to 3 stages. Pain Split to give us some longevity, and Haze to get rid of the opponent setup stat. I think Garbodor is a tier 5 mon that I can properly bring. Like, really other tier 5 mons I would have wanted and I could switch Garbodor with are this offensive mons like Smoke Soul, Zangoose, Pinsir, and really anything else that can get some sort of priority and setup. But instead I went for Garbodor for some hazard and ball, and so we can threaten my opponent to bring some hazard control. So got 3 mons left to pick, and I finally grabbed my tier 2 mon, and thankfully it's still the one I wanted. That one is Diggersby. So Diggersby has huge power, so that base 56 attack is doubled to a base 112 attack, which in itself is very powerful. And because it's a normal type, it gets a wide array of coverage. We got, of course, a normal ground stab combo, it's very hard to deal with. We get Gunk Shot, we get Elemental Punches, Knockoff, Power Up Punch, and we get Quick Attack for priority, so our speed won't matter. We get Spike for what it's worth, and we also get Sword Stand. Not only does our attack stat get doubled to base 112, but we can now even increase that even more. Then we also got U-Turn for momentum and Wild Charge for coverage against water types, which could potentially have hard walled Diggersby, but not as much with Wild Charge. And like it can be brought Scarf, which like I'm uncomfortable with choice items, but I think Diggersby it can work. And like I just get say I just set up hazards with Cobalion Garbodor, and so Pokemon they're gonna come in very crippled from the hazards, and they're going to just be overall weakened unless my opponent's just like an unhealthy, bulky, like an overly unhealthy, bulky team where they can't deal with Diggersby properly. It can definitely wreck some teams with just like its normal stab coverage, its normal stab, and then the occasional coverage move. Because it can definitely take on a couple of fairies and steel types, which is very impressive for a normal type mon. And I think, like, if Diggersby wouldn't work out for me, Mamoswine is still free, so I could free agent Diggersby for Mamoswine if I decided that Diggersby didn't really hold much ground. But it would try out Diggersby for a while and it doesn't work, I can still grab Mammoth Line. So we got 2 rounds left, and before I could have, and originally I wanted to wait to get my Megamon, but because of the Serena Snipe, I would not have had enough points to get my final Mon, so I had to get my Mega beforehand. And the way my draft was working, the Mega I got didn't really matter that much. And so I was kind of conflicted between Mega Absol and this Mon, but I decided to get this Mega because I just always wanted to try it out even more. So I got Mega Pidgeot. So of course, Mega Pidgeot, we got the no guard bird spam with Hurricane. We get Defog, which was really my selling point between it and Mega Absol. Mega Absol, we had to switch in on the hazard, potentially, and risking hit, but just Mega Pidgeot, we can just defog them away, although we do have the weakness to rocks. We can still get rid of them and we can boost ourselves back up. I'm just not interested in it now, but we do get Pursuit. Yeah, Pursuit's probably also another reason why I got the Stun King to Pursuit Trap. Of course, we get U-turn for momentum. Tailwind boosts up our entire team's speed. And of course, Mega Pidgeot is just another semi-one-dimensional Mon, where we got your occasional moves that can be benefit from no guard like Hurricane Heat Wave. But I think I can still make it work with some of its other coverage moves I get. I haven't seen much, but I think Bird Spam is always just a big threat in the metagame, and especially Special Bird Spam, as not a lot of mons can do this properly. So yeah, and I also got Mega Pidgeot because I needed the 40 points it gave us so I could get my final Mon, which was worth 180 points, which is a tier 1 Mon. If I had my ways, I would have gotten this the round before, which means I was but it actually meant I was sniped with that Mon. So I originally wanted Thundurus Incarnate, but that was sniped the pick before me. I went for the best next thing with Thundurus Therian. So Thundurus Therian, it gets the same moves that Thundurus Incarnate would get. We got Nasty Plot, we got your electric coverage, we got dark coverage, we got Sludge Wave and Sludge Bomb. We got solid stats where you can go either on physical or special side. We got Volt Turn coverage with both of them, so having in mind with both of that is very nice, as we can U-turn freely, where with Volt Switch we have to worry about some ground types. And Thundurus Therian is also my Pokemon who can use both status and attacking. So I don't really know much we can do on the status side, but there's Z-Vein Dance for the Z-Vein Dance and Thunder Sweep, which is just always a big threat on the electric types if you get that. As we can boost our base up 101 speed, where, yeah, so we're fast enough where we can outspeed, like, the base 100 Mon, where we can still, and we can even still save some speed on some Mons to outspeed, like, the base 90s, was just overall very, very threatening special attack stat. Like I used Thundurus Incarnate in Season 2, it definitely worked out. Volt Absorb to help with the electric immunity, and I've worked with Thundurus Therian before, and I definitely liked using it. I wanted to try Thundurus Incarnate a bit more. I might try pushing the person who has Thundurus Incarnate to trade for it, but I don't know, I'll see how Thundurus Therian works out in the grand scheme of the team. But if I had my way, I would have had Thundurus Incarnate for the range there instead. Anyway, that is my final team. So we got Mega Pidgeot, Latias, Diggersby, Primarina, Papalion, Licky, Garbodor, Thundurus Therian, Delmine, Alola Manawak, and Skunking. This is going to be my starting team for PCL Season 4. We got 3 free agents if I decide to change up some Mons. The only mons I can imagine doing that right now would be Mega Pidgeot, Diggersby, and the Alola Marowak. And I would try to trade, and maybe try to trade Thundurus there and Thundurus Incarnate. I don't know. Like, I want to try out a bunch of these mons before I consider trading. Usually in PCL, I trade away some mons week 1. I'm going to try not to do that. And we got, let me just take a look at that. We got 12 weeks, so we got 12 videos in the future coming up. So I'm going to try to keep up to the pace with this league, unlike the Elite, where I started making videos for halfway through the league is gone. Like, we have 2 weeks left in the thing, and I still have to upload a couple of battles that I haven't uploaded yet. So still a handful of battles that I only have 2 battles left with the Elite, but I think I have also. But compared to what those 2 battles I haven't done, pretty sure I have at least 1 more video to upload, like 1 or 2 more videos that I've already done. Really, like, PCL is just a league I've always liked, and nothing really more I have to say. All I can say is, once again, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to smack the like button down below and subscribe, and support me as we go through the PCL season 4, as you already know. Your support is greatly appreciated, and stay tuned for these 12 weeks, see if we make it to the playoffs, make it to the champion, and see if I end up ultimately unlucky. Bye now.